Have you ever felt like nobody really prepared you for life after 80? Not just the stiff joints or slower mornings, but the deeper, quieter changes that creep into your daily life. They're the kind of changes people don't talk about until they're already happening. And when they do hit, they hit hard. Sometimes subtly, sometimes like a wave. But always in ways that make you pause and think, when did this happen? This video is about the truth's real, raw, sometimes uncomfortable truths that come with life after 80. These aren't just facts about aging. These are the shifts that change how you're seen, how you feel about yourself, and how you navigate the world. Let's start with something that surprises almost everyone. 1. People stop asking for your opinion. One of the toughest pills to swallow is this. At some point, people just stop asking what you think. You've lived through wars, raised families, worked jobs that don't even exist anymore, and yet, your insight seems to get less and less valuable in their eyes. It's like the moment your steps get slower or your hair turns white, your wisdom starts to fade in their view. It's not that they're being mean. Most people don't even realize they're doing it. But you feel it. In conversations where you're barely heard. In decisions your kids used to consult you on but now just announce. In suggestions you make that get met with a smile and that polite but final, well, things are different now. You feel yourself being moved from participant to observer. Even within your own family. This hurts not because you want control but because you've lived. You've tried, failed, succeeded. You know what works because you've lived through what doesn't. And yet somehow, that hard-won knowledge doesn't seem to count anymore. There's a cultural myth that age equals irrelevance. That new means better. But here's the twist. The less you try to push your opinions, the more powerful your words become. When you speak with restraint, people lean in. Because real wisdom doesn't shout, it speaks quietly. But it stays with you. So if this is happening to you, don't shrink. Don't go bitter. Go deeper. Fewer words, more impact. You still matter now more than ever. 2. You start attending more funerals than birthdays. No one warns you about this when you're younger. In your 20s and 40s, life feels like an endless stream of celebrations, weddings, baby showers, birthdays. Then somewhere along the way, without much warning, the calendar shifts. And suddenly, you're pulling out your black coat more often than party hats. It's not just the grief, it's the repetition. Month after month, someone you loved, someone who was part of your story, is gone. Friends you used to laugh with, neighbors who waved from the porch, old co-workers who felt like extended family. One by one, the crowd gets smaller, and the silence afterward lasts longer. Then comes the guilt. You're still here, and sometimes that feels confusing. A strange, quiet feeling known as survivor's guilt. You wonder, why me? And while you're grateful, you're also deeply, quietly sad for the ones who didn't make it. It's a heavy kind of grief, the kind people don't always talk about. They hug you at the funeral and move on. They don't mention the name again, but you still feel it, and that silence can make it worse. Some people withdraw. Others cling tighter to those who remain. Neither is wrong. It's just your heart doing what it must to protect itself. Here's what you need to hold on to. Every loss you feel is proof of love, of connection, of a life lived with meaning. And though the crowd is smaller now, the love that remains, those who still call, still visit, matters even more. When you're 80 and beyond, love doesn't need to be wide. It just needs to be deep. Grieve when you must. Speak their names. Tell their stories. Let your tears be part of their legacy. But also keep living. That's what they'd want you to do. 3. Doctors start treating you like a checklist. It starts small. You sit in the exam room. The nurse takes your blood pressure, checks off a few boxes. Then the doctor walks in, schemes the chart, and asks, "So, how are we doing?" But doesn't pause long enough to really hear your answer. Before you can explain that strange ache in your back or the way your energy has changed, they're already on the next thing. This isn't about bad doctors. Most of them care deeply, but the system changes how they see you. You stop being a whole person and start becoming a list of symptoms, a medication chart, a case file. Your story, your preferences, your instincts gets lost behind protocol. And that hurts, because you know your body. You know what's new and what feels off. But too often, Your concerns are brushed aside with phrases like, "That's normal at your age," or "That's just part of getting older," as if your age is a diagnosis in itself. This can be dangerous. You start doubting yourself, wondering if maybe you're imagining things. And when that happens, you stop asking questions. You stop pushing. And sometimes real issues get missed. It's not just frustrating, it's dehumanizing. You have the right to ask, the right to slow things down, to say, "Hold on, I'm not finished." You have the right to be seen fully, not as a patient file, but as a whole human being, because you are still unfolding, still evolving, and your care should honor that. 4. Your body's still here, but your reflection feels different. It happens in the smallest moments. You pass a mirror at the store, catch your reflection in a window, and for a second, just a beat, you pause. That person looking back has your eyes, your posture, your hands, but something feels off. You don't recognize them the way you used to, and then it hits. That's you. This is one of the quietest and hardest parts of aging. You still feel sharp on the inside. You remember dancing in your kitchen, running to catch the bus, standing tall without effort. But your body tells a different story now. Your skin has softened. Your muscles have relaxed. Your hair, if it's still there, has faded. Even your smile, your walk, your voice. They've all shifted over the years, sometimes without permission, without warning. This isn't about vanity. It's about identity. You still carry every version of yourself, young, strong, wild, hopeful. But the outside doesn't always match the inside anymore. And in a world that's obsessed with youth, that disconnect can feel brutal. Every ad, every movie, every compliment that starts with "you look good for your age," it all reinforces the same message. Youth is beautiful. Aging is something to fight, hide, or fix. But here's the truth. The most beautiful people aren't the youngest ones. They're the ones who've lived fully and show it. Your wrinkles, they're not flaws. They're records. Proof that you've smiled, cried, laughed, and survived. Your hands may shake now, but those same hands have held babies, built homes, and comforted loved ones. That slower walk, that's perseverance in motion. The reflection may look different, yes, but it still holds the same spark, the same soul. You haven't faded, you've deepened. You're not disappearing, you're evolving. And maybe the hardest part isn't what others see. It's learning to see yourself again, to honor not just who you were, but who you are right now, to let go of comparing and start embracing. Because every stage of life deserves dignity. Every face has a story, and yours, every line, every shift, every sign of age is part of a masterpiece in progress. So the next time you catch yourself in the mirror, don't look away. Look closer. That reflection, that's someone who's lived. That's someone still standing, still showing up. That's you. 5. The world moves too fast and expects you to keep up. At some point, the pace of life changes. And it's not just your body that slows down. It's the world that speeds up. Technology, culture, conversation, everything moves in fast forward. And you're expected to keep up or get left behind. You go to buy groceries and there's no cashier, just a machine flashing buttons and asking you to tap to pay. You try to call your doctor, but now it's a robot asking you to press 1, then 3, then your birth date. You miss a family event because the invitation went to a group chat you didn't even know existed. You used to feel confident out there, in charge. Now, it feels like you need a teenager to explain everything. It's not that you're unwilling, it's that you're tired of learning a new system every week. New passwords, new rules, new apps. And when you ask for help, they look at you like you're slow. It's easy, just click here. But it's not easy when it was never part of your world to begin with. Even conversations can feel like code, slang, memes, acronyms. It's not that you're out of touch, it's that the language keeps changing, and no one's handing out a manual. And so, slowly, you begin to pull back. You stop asking questions. You fake your way through screens and forms. You let the world speed on, while you try to find your footing in it. And that creates a quiet kind of loneliness, not because people aren't around, but because no one notices that you're struggling to keep up. But here's the thing, you don't owe the world speed. You've adapted through wars, cultural revolutions, economic collapses. You've already shown resilience more times than most can count. You don't need to chase every trend. You don't need to get every update. You just need to stay grounded, stay connected, stay present. And it's okay to say, I need help. It's okay to set your own pace, to choose clarity over convenience, to ask for human conversation instead of chatbots. Because your wisdom, your lived experience is not something to rush past. It's something to slow down for, and the people who truly care will meet you at your rhythm. Let the world spin. You don't have to, because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to stop, to breathe, and to say, I'll move when I'm ready.